What's going on, guys? It's Gino from Modern Accessory Review, and this right here is the new iPad Air 4. This device was actually announced back in September and definitely caught my attention. Today I'm going to cover my first impressions, and at the end of the video I'm going to be telling you what I think is the best iPad to get right now, so definitely make sure to stay for that. With Touch ID and the power button and that new A14 bionic chip, I definitely had to pick one of these up for you guys to show you what it's all about. And as you can tell, I did pick up the silver color because I think it looks super clean and classy, but there are 4 other awesome colors, including space gray, rose gold, sky blue, and green. And as usual, I did pick this up myself, so be sure to return the support by liking the video if you enjoyed it or even subscribing to the channel. And starting at $599, the iPad Air is definitely more affordable than the iPad Pro, and that new A14 bionic chip is really impressive. Because of all the new internals and that new chip, the iPad Air is actually a little bit faster when it comes to the specs than the iPad Pro, which is a couple $100 more. Now the refresh rate is a little bit higher in the iPad Pro at 120 Hz, and the iPad Air has 60 Hz, but to be honest, it really isn't that big of a difference between 120 and 60 Hz. And if you're not familiar with the refresh rate, pretty much what it allows you to do is switch between your apps and pages just a little bit quicker. In my opinion, it's not really important, so as long as we have 60 Hz like we do in the Air, then you're all good. And taking a closer look at the front of the iPad Air, we do have a 10.9-inch liquid retina display, and the bezels on the Air are just a bit thicker than the iPad Pro because the iPad Pro has a slightly larger screen at 11 inches, and there's also a 12.9-inch display on the iPad Pro if you want to upgrade to that. The iPad Air that I have here is only available in the 10.9-inch screen, but I really actually like the size of this because it's super portable, it's not too large, and I think most people that are getting an iPad want something that's super portable. The slightly smaller size allows you to easily put this in a bag, and it really doesn't take up much room at all. We do still have that 7 megapixel HD camera on the front for FaceTime, and of course on the back we have that 12 megapixel wide camera, which is much better. And kind of comparing the Air to the Pro again, as you can tell on the Air we only have one camera lens, but on the Pro there's an additional ultra wide lens and an additional LiDAR scanner. And if you are familiar with the LiDAR scanner, pretty much all it is it allows you to use some virtual reality apps, and there really isn't a ton of apps out there yet. Personally, I hardly ever use the cameras on my tablets anyways, so I think one is totally fine enough. And we can also see that Apple logo on the back here with the lettering that says designed by Apple in California. And if you look really closely, you can see 3 dots down here, and that is actually called the Smart Connector. The Smart Connector is just for keyboard attachments like the Smart Folio, which is really nice because it almost turns your iPad into a laptop. And when it comes to the buttons, we have the volume controls on the right side along with that Apple Pencil connector, and on the top we have the power button. And one of my favorite things about the iPad Air that is new from all of Apple's other products is that we actually have Touch ID in the power button. That's right, instead of having Face ID like we do on the iPad Pro, we have Touch ID, and it is actually a lot quicker in my opinion than Face ID because right as I'm turning on the iPad, it just scans my finger and goes right into my home screen. And on the bottom we do have USB-C charging, which is nice, and you can see both of the speakers on the bottom here as well as on the top. And after using the iPad Air for some different things like games, basic Photoshop, notes, and all of the usual tablet stuff, I have to say I really love using this thing. Of course, I will be using it way more in the days to come, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it in my full in-depth review next week. And when it comes to the whole iPad spectrum, I think the iPad Air will give you the most for your money. With the faster internals, the new Touch ID, and the power button, the cheaper price, and all of the color options, I think it's just the best way to go. And I think it's what fits most people the best. Now, the starting price of $599 does unfortunately only give us 64 gigabytes, which is a little low. I think most people could get away with it, but if you're doing a bunch of Photoshop stuff on your iPad or plan to, then I do think you should upgrade to the 256 gigabyte option, which will bring you up $150 to 749 bucks. That's personally what I did with this iPad Air, and it is kind of a bummer that Apple didn't give us a 124 gigabyte option, but I guess it's Apple, so they can do whatever they want to do. Definitely let me know what you guys think about the iPad Air in the comments below, and I will try my best to get back to you. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. With all of that being said, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!